Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed of All, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed of All, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed of All is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed of All.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed of All.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed of All.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed of All.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed of All.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed of All.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it, and my name is Strategic.
Good afternoon. How you doing? This is Coach Karvell Bailey, and I want to welcome you to another episode of Lunch and Learn. So welcome to the show today. First show of 2022. Happy New Year to everybody out there today. So let me know where you are learning from, right? Where are you learning from today? Just drop, your city and state, and just let me know where you're learning from today. All right. Don't be shy. It's a new year. Don't be hiding behind the curtains, all that. Peek out. This is definitely an interactive class as always. And so today, what I want to speak on, right? Today, I want to speak on exactly what it says underneath. The difference between wanting to hear and needing to know. Right? Wanting to hear versus needing to know. Caesar, how you doing, my friend? Caesar is from Olive Branch, Mississippi. Yes, sir. Sacktown, Sacramento, West Coast. Caesar, definitely. Yes. How you doing? So today, right, I want to talk about, the difference between wanting to know versus needing to hear. And a lot of times this runs rampant in not only basketball and sports, but in life, right? How many times are we getting people to tell us things that we want to hear, right? As opposed to things that we need to know. It's especially bad in let's say the athletic field or with those in leadership, right? It's especially bad with those in leadership because a lot of people in leadership, for one reason or another, right? Maybe they don't have enough self-confidence. Maybe they don't have enough self-esteem. As one of my coaches stated to me, the bigger the person's ego, the smaller their self-esteem. And the smaller their ego, the bigger their self-esteem. So I want you to keep that in mind when it comes to leadership, right? People that you're under their leadership, people that you're in leadership over, right? The bigger the ego, generally, the smaller the self-esteem and smaller the self-confidence. But it's on the flip side, right? The smaller the ego, the bigger the self-confidence and the self-esteem. And so me saying that because in leadership, no matter if it's in basketball, if it's in education, whatever it may be, there's a lot of people in leadership that have people under them that's supposed to be helping them to grow and become better. But the people that they have beside them or under them and back of them are people that can only tell them things that they want to hear. And then we actually, that actually hurts the individuals in which they're serving. As coaches, that hurts the athletes, right? And leadership, education, that hurts the teachers, the students. People having people around them that really aren't telling them the truth. That's really what I'm saying. All right. Coach Bailey, Coach Karvell Bailey, I like to keep things broken down to the smallest compound. So it's really not telling people the truth. And what I mean by the truth is not telling them the whole truth. Yeah, you may tell them some things that they want to hear. That's the truth. But are you telling them things that they really need to know? And a lot of times, so I was watching TV today, and I heard Shannon Sharp talk about this as it pertains to Antonio Brown. Right, I'm not going to get into that at all today, but he made a great point that a lot of athletes, right, have been dealing with. We heard the situation last week with the Houston Rockets. One of the players threw a water bottle at the coach. He left at halftime. The other player, refused to go in. And to me, this all stems from the whole aspect of grassroots basketball. And I'm speaking just basketball now. Grassroots basketball, grassroots sports, of coaches being so concerned and so inundated with themselves, that ego, they want to win so much. And don't get me wrong, this is a results business. You either win or you lose, right? Well, you win or you learn. But in this business, right, there's two categories. You're either going to win or you're going to get replaced, right? And so with youth sports, we have a lot of coaches that tell parents, as well as tell athletes, things that they want to hear. Oh, come on, play for me. Your kid is going to play. Come on, play for me. Your kid is going to get exposure. Come on and do this and do that. And these are going to be the results of it. Oh, yeah, your athlete, can play. Your son got a sweet jump shot, or telling the kid all of this, right? This is why we start to see kids being ranked 3rd grade, 4th grade, 5th grade. And is that really helping? Telling kids what they want to hear instead of telling kids what they need to know, or telling parents what they want to hear instead of telling parents what they need to know. And so when I speak upon telling people the truth, a lot of people are afraid to tell people the truth, right? Leland say, right, you're so right, right? Yep. I ain't even got started, Leland. Just stay here and watch this. People don't want to tell other people the truth. And again, I'm talking like basketball, because they're afraid that they're going to lose that individual. They're afraid they're going to lose that individual. Here in Chicago, Don Juan and players and pimps and all those things, right? And so people say, and I'm not condoning none of that either, but a lot of times, the players would tell their main person, like, hey, I lie to you because I don't want to hurt your feelings, right? I'm gonna tell them the truth because I don't care about them, but I'm gonna lie to you because I don't want to lose you, right? I don't want to hurt your feelings. And so it's the same way with basketball. People are lying or not telling the whole truth, not telling people what they need to hear, right? What they need to know, because they're afraid, okay, well, now this parent is not going to keep their athlete with me, or this player is not going to want to play for me. Matter of fact, it's gotten so jaded to where people are telling athletes what they want to hear so that their athletes can come to them. That's why the transfer portal is so huge, because a lot of athletes have been selling coaches and selling parents by telling them things that they want to hear. And then when they get there, they're like, this ain't what we talked about, right? So I want to just speak on some things that can enlighten you, that can help you, right? People talk about, okay, well, let's get this exposure. Well, what happens if your athlete is not fully prepared when that exposure comes? Now they're in an environment, in a situation that may actually expose them, what they don't know, what they aren't able to do, what they don't have, right? Maybe they don't have a left hand, maybe they don't have a right hand, but you're being sold. They're telling you things that you want to hear because that's instant gratification. But in this whole area of recruitment and being recruitable, yes, parents are now, right? High school athletes are now not only dealing with the team that's there, but they're also dealing with foreign athletes from Asia, from Europe, South America, right? They're Canada, Australia, right? They're dealing with foreign athletes coming over to the States to play college basketball, as well as they're dealing with the transfer portal, as well as dealing with like junior college. And then they have to deal with those athletes that are in high school that maybe have a little bit more to offer, but they'll still sell you by telling you things that you want to hear. As a coach, for going on 29 years now, right? 29 years, I never told an athlete of mine that they were good. Not while they were playing for me. I never told them that. I say that's a good shot, that's a good move, but I never said like you're good. You're great. Like can't nobody hold you. I never said that. Because I don't want that to distort their work ethic. But instead of people telling you as the parent and telling your athletes things that they want, right, that they think that you want to hear, when is the last time a coach told you things that you need to know, right? So, right, Caesar says, right, this is happening right now, right, from Olive Branch, right? This is real live. He's saying this is happening right now. But when is the last time a coach or anyone has helped you? And I'm not bashing coaches, right? Because the coaches on here can probably learn just as well as the parents. But do you know what an athletic resume is? Have you ever heard of it? Like, has anybody ever mentioned that term to you, right? You hear exposure, you hear playing time, you hear AAU, you hear club basketball, you hear rankings, you hear recruitment, you hear evaluation. But have you ever heard about athletic resume? I'll give you another one. Have you ever heard about a graduation audit? What's that? What is a graduation audit? Athletic resume, graduation audit. Now, when we talk about being recruitable, we're recruitable in all stages of life. Those people that's on here that have a spouse, married, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever that may be, fiance, you had to recruit them, take them out on dates and do it right. Like and so what makes them recruitable? What makes you recruitable? And when you're young, right, you want your parents to give you something, right? Like being recruitable is just really selling your value to somebody else. Does that make sense? But like, when is the last time somebody told you these things? Like they sell you on exposure, but you still have to sell yourself when you get there, when that exposure comes. And that's not just on the basketball court. So when you go to a job, don't you have to submit a resume so that they can see what value you bring to the company? It's the same thing on the court. So have you ever heard about an athletic resume? And one more, does your athlete have an athletic resume? Maybe not if you've never heard of it. If nobody told you things that you need to know, as opposed to just what you want to hear. Hey, we travel all over the country. We go into these states. We got these shoes. We sponsored by these teams. Well, those tournaments, those hotels, those buffets that they go eat in, right? They've all sold themselves to that same person that's trying to sell you on things that they've been sold on. But they're not, have they taught you how to sell yourself? Does that make sense? Right now, I'm not in sales, never been in sales, but like, have they helped you to understand that? Being recruitable, what value do you bring? What value does your athlete bring? And so if you need a resume to present to a job, basketball on the college level is a job. If they're paying for you to go to school, it's a contract. It's a job. So what do you have tangible to give them on the front end? What does your athlete have tangible to give them on the front end to be able to help them understand the value that your athlete brings? Athletic resume. Now, what about graduation audit? Yeah, you probably heard transcripts. Maybe you know what a transcript is. But graduation audit, do you really understand what a graduation audit is? Because if your athlete has dreams of going to Division I, which again, they're selling you and you're being right things that you want to hear. Let's get this exposed so that you can go Division I. Well, what if your athlete is a junior? Worst case, what if your athlete is a senior? And now you spent all of this money to go to these events to get this exposure, but your athlete has never had a graduation audit. And so now when that happens and they just send their transcripts to the school, you find out at the last minute that your athlete does not qualify to be a Division I basketball player. Now, all that time that you've put in, all that money that you've spent or invested has went the wrong way because your athlete went through freshman year, sophomore year, possibly junior year, now senior year, and they're one class away. Or they're two classes away. Or maybe even more because they never had a graduation audit to really know not only what do I need to graduate, but what do I need to be eligible for all these different levels of college basketball. But again, people are telling you what you want to hear as opposed to things that you need to know. What about FAFSA? Has anybody ever told you that your dream school, the dream school for your athlete can want your athlete, but they can't sign a national letter of intent, right? Do you even know what a national letter of intent is? NLI. And it's not NIL, NLI, national letter of intent. NIL is name, image, likeness. So you can't get like these letters and numbers skewed and screwed up. But you can't sign that national letter of intent until you have your financial aid done, even if they're paying 100% for school. Has anybody ever told you that? And has anybody ever told you that the later that you are filling it out, the less money that your athlete gets? Now, even if they're being 100% scholarship, tuition, room, board, well, that money then comes back to their pockets. Has anybody ever told you that? Right? Has anybody ever educated you on these things? And so now instead of, hey, mom and dad, like, can you send me some money? Because guess what? Everybody want to go Division I, but has anybody ever told you the things that you need to know? That Division I basketball players, Division I athletes can't get a job. Have they ever told you that? Yeah, they can get a name, image, likeness deal now to bring in money. But what if your athlete is not that person that nobody wants to invest into because, right, they aren't recruitable like that. So now you're sending them money so that, right, they can just have pocket money. Well, if you would have filled out that financial aid earlier, they would have had a bigger refund check coming back. But has anybody ever told you those things? Told you the things that you need to know? Is this making sense to anybody? Just drop a 1 in the chat. I just want to, right? Is this making sense to anybody? Just drop a 1 in the chat. Just let me know. I want to make sure I'm not talking to myself, right? I just want to make sure that value is being added on the first episode of Lunch and Learn of 2022, right? If this is helpful to you, just drop a 1 in the chat. Right? Caesar says absolutely, right? So, and again, maybe you're just hiding behind the curtains, right? Maybe you're afraid to say, yes, this is helping, right? Matter of fact, if you've heard of these things that I've talked about, if you've heard of athletic resume, if you've heard of graduation audit, if you've heard of FAFSA, right? If you've heard of these things that I've been talking about, and somebody has talked to you about those things already, then just drop a 2. Right? If you've already heard about these things, then drop a 2. If this is valuable to you, then drop a 1. Right? Jarrell, yep, says valuable. Okay. Yep. Miss Collins, yep. Is that an L? Is it Clara or is that an I? I believe it's an L. Yep, says value. Now, what about clearinghouse? Has anybody ever told you the things that you need to know, right, about clearinghouse? Okay, Jarrell say not in those exact terms. Okay. So break that down to me a little bit, Jarrell. What do you mean not in those exact? Is it more clear now, or have they just been like throwing statements at you, right? Throwing words at you, or is this more clear, or has it been, clearer to you now? But have you been taught about like clearinghouse? Again, you get all this exposure. You travel across the country, you get these shoes and all these other things, for your athlete, got the FAFSA done, but they're not registered for the clearinghouse. Like, do you understand what the clearinghouse is? And that they have clearinghouse for like each, right? NAI, NCAA. And then like those clearinghouses can actually store all of these things that I'm talking about. And better yet, does your athlete have an NCAA ID number? Right? See, what happens, again, don't let people just tell you things that they think you want to hear. Ask them questions for things that you really want to know. And if they don't have the answer, that's still fine. You just have to keep looking for it. But as the parent, you should definitely seek out these things that you need to know. Right? I have a few different coaches in areas of my life because areas that I'm not strong at, I get coaches in those areas. Right? And one of those coaches of mine, and we meet at least like twice a month, is Dr. Eric Thomas, right? The #1 motivational speaker in the world. All right. Maybe you've heard of him. Maybe you haven't, right? If you've heard of ET before, just drop a ET in the chat for me. But what ET talks about is triple darkness, right? People not knowing that they don't know that they don't know. Well, if you don't know that you should be asking these questions, right, is one thing to not know how to do, let's say, strength training. But if you don't know how to do strength training, it's another thing if you don't even know that strength training will help your athlete, right? But then it's another thing to not know how to properly strength train, not know the strength training will help your athlete, but not even know what strength training is, right? Some people don't know that they don't know that they don't know. But people are just telling you what they think that you want to hear. So sometimes you need information to then carry you to the next batch of information. So you do all of that. And what if, yes, Caesar, yes, the eligibility center. Absolutely. Jarrell said it's more confirmation. Okay, I got it. You do all these things, and now a coach asks your athlete, like, okay, what's your NCAA ID number? What's your NAI ID number? Will you be just as recruitable? Maybe that's your only chance. Maybe that's the only coach. Your athlete is a senior or they're a junior. That's the only coach that has talked to them, that may talk to them. And they fumbled. They turned the ball over. Because nobody ever really told you the things that you need to know to help prepare you, to help prepare your athlete for where they're trying to go. Right? Athletic resume, graduation audit, transcripts, FAFSA, clearinghouse. We talked about national letter of intent. Name, image, likeness. Like, do you know what that is? You know, do you know, again, selling? Do you know how to help your athletes sell themselves to someone? Right? Name, image, and likeness. Now they can be paid for their name. You go in bookstores, you see all type of college jerseys with names on the back. In the past, those athletes didn't get paid for that. Well, now they can get paid for their name. Now they can get paid for their image. Right? I had all these college games, you know, EA Sports and everything. You know, if you know Ed O'Bannon or not, go look up Ed O'Bannon. Won a championship with UCLA. He sued the NCAA. This is what started all the name, image, likeness, because Ed O'Bannon sued the NCAA because they were using him on EA Sports. But he, again, because he couldn't have a job, like he didn't have money to buy lunch. But he can go back to his room and people playing him on the game. And they're making tons of money off the game. But he gets none of that. Go to the bookstore. His old Bannon, right? Him and his brother, Charles, right? Names on the jersey, 31 and 13, right? Ed 31, Charles number 13. They selling millions of O'Bannon jerseys. He ain't getting no money on that. Likeness, right? Not just his image, but his likeness, where they skew it up a little bit, but it kind of sort of looks like them. Shaped like them. But now, like, your athlete can get like deals on their name, image, and likeness. But has anybody ever kind of told you that, kind of broke that down to you? And then, like, you know, people talk about, okay, well, I've heard parents say, well, my athlete, you know, my son or daughter has teammates. They're on Twitter and they talk to coaches on Twitter and everything, right? Maybe you don't have your athlete on social media. And that's, you know, hey, okay, I get it. But like most professionals, right? We're on here, Facebook. There are some people that just go to LinkedIn, some people that go to Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, whatever that may be. But does your athlete have a presence socially? Do they have a presence? Do they know how to have a presence socially? Right? So like all of these things have people really sit down and talk to you about it. And then the biggest thing, let's say that your athlete has all of these things, has this shell, this package. Do your athlete really understand who they are? Do they really understand how they operate, how they prefer to communicate, how they prefer to behave, both on and off the court? Are they getting stressful because this game that they love is stressing them out? And, you know, they say, well, the coach is this. Well, you know, well, they're probably getting stressed out because they are operating in a level that's outside of them. And that doesn't mean to be bad, but they're not operating in their true self. But when is the last time that they've really been able to assess themselves and find out what they're great at and then step on the gas and that? See, because education, like they do tests and assessments and they point out what's wrong. You need to fix this. You need to fix this. And I'm an educator, but here's the problem with the education system. Nobody is really focusing on that student's strength, that student's gift. Oh, you're good with your hands, but I need you to do this math problem. Ain't nothing wrong with math, right? But you're good at math, but I need you to build this house. How about if I do the coordinates for the house and let the person that build the house build the house? Let me stick with my strength. But now if your athlete is good with math and science, but they have to now do the constructing, they're going to be stressed out. So the same thing on the court. Your athlete may be good at shooting, but they playing with their back to the basket. Your, athlete, can handle the ball, but they're being told don't dribble the ball. So every time they get it, they got to pass it. They're stressed out. Now they're not liking the game that they love. So when's the last time that your athlete really has had like a self-assessment, been able to really find out and identify and become more aware themselves, and you can help be aware of them, how they prefer to operate? Where's their genius? Where do their strength lie? And now let's double down on those strengths, which will make you more recruitable. Again, when you dating your wife, your girlfriend, your husband, fiance, whatever, and you find out what they like. They like raisin bread. You're not gonna just go buy wheat bread. You're gonna double down on that raisin bread. I'm gonna go get you 2 orders. You know what I'm saying? So why aren't we doing that from this standpoint? And reason being is because, like, maybe you haven't even been aware, right? Triple darkness, that these things even exist, because you're being told things that you want to hear, or you're being told things that people think you want to hear, or your athlete is being told the same thing. This is why these conversations aren't always sexy. If I was coming on here talking about how to run a play, right? How to just get exposure, this tournament, this event, whatever, it'll be a room full, thousands full. But everybody wants the instant gratification. Nobody wants the delayed gratification. So I'm gonna go through these comments, right? Again, so does anybody have any feedback, right? Any comments? And I don't normally do this on Lunch and Learn, but I really wanted to kind of zone in on this, right? And if your athlete, right, needs this type of help, then we can definitely help you. We can definitely help you, right? And so January 22nd, we're actually offering our Hoops Mastery Recruitment Bootcamp, right? And in that recruitment bootcamp, we're going to go through all this. Not only are we going to go through all this, what these things are, right? We've identified some of them today to help your athlete become more recruitable. We've identified some of this stuff. Notice I ain't talking about nothing with shooting the basketball, none of that, because I'm pretty sure that you have things in place for your athlete to do that. But wherever they're doing that, obviously probably isn't giving you this in the clarity and in the form that you're getting it now. But not only are we going to identify it, which we've done now, right? But we're going to explain what these things are. And then we're going to walk you through these things so that by the time the boot camp is over, you'll have most of them, but you'll know what all of them are, right? Because Coach Bailey can't give you a graduation audit, but you'll know how to go about getting it when you get back, when your athlete gets back to school with their counselor. Most high school counselors don't understand athletic eligibility. They just don't, because that's not what they're focusing on. But now Hoops Master Recruitment Bootcamp, we're going to cover all of these things. And then the beautiful part about that also is that your athlete actually gets an self-evaluation, a self-assessment, and yes, sir. You got the hiccups? Go downstairs, get some water. Real live TV. So that's my son. So not only he has the hiccups, if you can hear him. So not only will your athlete get, right, your athlete get the assessment, huh? Oh, yeah, you did. That's super. Hot top. What? Oh, you want me to do it? Yeah. Okay, I go get some water and I'm trying to make the triangle in a minute. So not only will your athlete get an assessment, right? He want me to put his blocks together. See, he works with his hands, right? And he's math too, but let him build the house and let your athlete come up with the coordinates, right? If they're good at math. But not only will your athlete get an assessment for themselves, but you will also get an assessment for yourself as well, right? So you actually get 3 assessments as part of the boot camp. Maybe it's you and your spouse. Maybe you have another athlete, right? But you as a parent, your athlete, and then you get an additional assessment. And we're going to cover all of that on the boot camp, as well as all of these things also. And so that's going to be January the 22nd. right? January the 22nd. Caesar says, I guess we can ask during the boot camp. Yeah, so that brings me to another point, Caesar, right? And Caesar's already registered, right? Caesar was on our parent webinar. Some of you all missed out, right? Caesar got a lot of great information just like this, but more, right? Caesar's one that's already registered for our actual boot camp, he and his son. And so what Caesar knows is that we'll have a special meeting, right? We'll have a special meetup before the boot camp to kind of answer some questions that parents may have, and then on the actual boot camp, you're able to bring your athlete, and set up your computer, right, as we're on Zoom, and kind of go through step by step all of these things. And then there will be opportunity, right? It's going to be interactive, boot camp opportunity for you to ask, some of those questions also during that boot camp. So that's a great question, Caesar. That's a great question, right? And so just in recap, right? All these things that we talked about really is like a checklist, because again, your athlete can be great athletically, they can be great physically, but if they don't have certain things and if they're not prepared mentally, they may blow their opportunity. And so the assessment is going to help them mentally. Everything that we're going to go through is going to help with that checklist, that package of things. Again, when you get in front of that employer, can you sell yourself? Right? And so we're going to go through all of that. We're going to have the special, pre-workshop in which you can, speak Q&A. We go through some things so that we're not taking care of the finite things at the boot camp, because once the boot camp, right, it's going to be several hours, right, going to be ready to rock and roll, bring, your water, and stuff, so that you can stay hydrated during the event, so that, you don't have to, okay, well, hey, I got to go get something to eat. I got to do this and do that, right? We'll take a lunch break and do all those things, but it's going to be like an intense hands-on boot camp. And so the investment for the boot camp, right? The investment for the boot camp at this rate, right? And now the investment will increase by next week, but the investment for the boot camp today is actually $697. All right. The investment for the boot camp today is going to be $697. If you wait till the last minute, it's going to be $997. I can just tell you totally, right? So that's $697, right? It's going to be $997 by the time we get to the boot camp. So don't be one that's that's stand on the fence. Do I want to, $697 investment for you to learn something for your athlete that will be with them for the rest of their lives, and even information that'll help you if you have other athletes coming behind them. Like, you can't even really quantify that. And with the assessment that will totally bring awareness, that's going to change not only your life, but your athlete's life, and how you look at things, how you view yourself and the strength that you have, that they have, and also how you view others around you. Right. And so, like, this is going to be a life-changing event. And again, I ain't a salesman. I just know that we add value. And if you really, really want to get that value, maybe you pay, $600, $700, $800 on a weekend tournament, between travel, and some of these teams, you pay for the team, but then you got to pay for travel, then you got to pay for the hotel, then you got to pay for food, and that's not even counting if you go. Right? You got to pay part of the fee for the tournament for your athlete, give your athlete money so that they can eat, right? Give them part of the money so they can pay for the hotel room, right? Some of these programs do all those things, but still, if you're traveling, and then when that's over, it's over. You see no benefits of it, no results of that. And so, again, it's $697. I can almost assure you by next week, the price will increase again. And it's going to go up to $997. and I'm on here, really, I haven't even shared it with my email list, right? And if you haven't had a chance to become part of my email list, right, and you haven't had a chance to check out my free case study, then you want to go right here, right? Check out my free training at BeTheRightRecruit.com, right? You go there, you get a free training, you get access to get on my email list, right? Get great nuggets and tools and different things, right? Each and every day we send an email out. But I haven't even shared this with my email list yet. I wanted to share it with you all first. All right. Those that were on the boot camp got a special offer, right? But hey, you missed the boot camp, but now you got this offer, right? And so right now, while it's $697, you definitely want to take advantage of it. All right. And if there's, like, hey, coach, I want to take advantage, I don't have $697 all at one time right now, right? Then reach out to me. You can, inbox me. And I can let you know, right? Like, so at least half have to, be put down. So at this point, it's at least $349 down now. And then the rest will have to be due like 48 hours before the boot camp. All right. All right, Caesar. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You take care. And I will see you definitely in a couple weeks. All right. So if you would like to take part in the boot camp, right, at this special rate of $697, then you can send me a inbox, and let me know, hey, coach, I'm in. And then I'll reach back out to you and we can take care of, again, the full payment. Or if you like, coach, I like my athlete needs this. I need this. But I don't have a $697 right now, but I will have about a 22nd. But I can lock my spot in at that half down. Then just reach out to me. All right, definitely reach out to me. I'm not sure what that's saying. I'm definitely not sure what that's saying. But again, hey, this is Coach Karvell Bailey. I hope this has been valuable to you. Again, if you've gotten value from this, drop a 3 in the chat. Definitely if you got value from this. If you know of someone else that needs to hear this information, then just type their name in the chat, right? And like tag them in this, because again, what good is it for you to get all the great information and you don't share it with nobody else? That's where the value comes in at. All right. So again, Coach Karvell Bailey, y'all be good. Peace.
Yo, just so you understand it, this is Coach Karvell Bailey's program with the spirit of Bob Hambry.
This is Blessed to Ball, helping athletes, and we represent. Study your craft, your mentality leads to excellence. It's all about your mindset. We'll never stop addressing this, so be positive and not a pessimist. Confidence took James Harden higher. If you really want it, it ain't gonna be easy. It's gonna be hard as carbon fiber, but we got you. From counseling to workshops, we do it. You'll go farther with a scholarship. We'll help you get recruited. Yo, anyone can dribble and shoot, but it's the ones who study basketball internally that make it to Duke University. Knowledge goes around. The game is played from the neck up and not from the shoulders down. This is Blessed to Ball, helping you with obstacles. The athletes are the rocket. Blessed to Ball is the rocket fuel. If you hit a wall, we can help you slowly climb it. So keep a Mamba mentality like Kobe Bryant.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play.
Blessed to Ball.
Cherish the opportunities that you have.
Blessed to Ball.
Use your mentality to master the craft.
Blessed to Ball.
Come join our team, it's a new day. Follow our steps and watch how much better you play. Yo, Coach Karvell Bailey. Hey, listen to your coach, man. He ain't no scrub off the street. That man got credentials, academic and street. Believe it. And my name is strategic.